Yeah, this is case number 144 on the calendar in the matter of Boone versus Rose. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat, please.
Get ready for a lecture. Mr. Boone, you and the defendant evidently had a relationship, and you have a baby together. Your lawsuit, Mr. Boone, which I will dispose of very quickly, says that while you were together, she drove your car, you drove her truck, you put a stereo system in her car because you were doing a lot of the driving in her car. Then you broke up and you want your stereo system back.
Basically.
Uh-huh.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't you have bigger things to deal with?
Yes, we do.
So why are you bothering with this dumb issue?
Because the money that I was going to get from the stereo system was going to go towards my son.
Why don't you get a job?
I've got a job.
Good. Use the money from your job. Do you understand? That's
Yes.
what you do. Use the money from your job. What I find most interesting is your counterclaim, which I will dispose of equally as swiftly. Your counterclaim, which is a little interesting, says that you and the plaintiff agreed while you were pregnant that the baby was going to be placed for adoption. And then Mr. Boone changed his mind.
In the hospital when we were signing the paperwork, yes, ma'am.
And because he changed his mind, it cost you about $1,000 for a lawyer.
Yes, ma'am.
And you want him to pay the $1,000 because he changed his mind.
I want him to pay the $1,000 because he lied to the judge and he lied to a lawyer. He said that I had given up my rights, which as soon as I found out he did not sign the paperwork, I signed the reversal papers, the dismissal papers, ma'am, and he went and got a court order against me to take the baby home with him. And that's not a place for a baby. And so it was either the baby goes home with him or I go and get a lawyer and have the baby come home with me.
Miss Rose.
Yes, ma'am.
First, take a tissue.
Thank you.
So let me understand. You're in the hospital. You had signed a release for the baby.
Yes, ma'am.
He changed his mind.
Yes, ma'am.
And then he went to court and said, she's given up her rights to the baby, so I want to take my son home with me.
Yes, ma'am.
Had you ever discussed placing the baby for adoption, Mr. Boone?
We had. We went to a few meetings with the lady of Lifeline. The first meeting we went to, I told her I did not want to do it. I did not want to give the baby up for adoption. And
did you change your mind?
Well,
you're allowed to tell me that I did change my mind.
well, I did, but I mean, I never wanted to give him up for adoption to begin with.
I understand that, but I want you to be very honest with me. You
Yes.
had, in fact, discussed it with her.
Yeah, we had discussed it. We were
And-
making an option.
And you did see your son and then change your mind.
I watched him be born. That was, probably one of the happiest days of my life.
So far?
So far.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
It's a very short life so far.
Yes.
Ms. Rose,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to try to explain it to you in a way you'll understand it.
Yes.
Let us say the situation was reversed, and the two of you had decided, especially Mr. Boone, that he wasn't ready for parenthood, he couldn't deal with it financially, he couldn't deal with it emotionally, and he wanted to place the baby for adoption, and you said okay. And then you went through the experience of having your baby, you looked at him, you fell in love, and you changed your mind.
Ma'am, I was
Just
already...
a second.
Sorry.
Okay, I'm reversing the situation. Do you think really that Mr. Boone could sue you for changing your mind and therefore being financially responsible for this baby for the next 21 years?
Ma'am, he has not helped me.
No. You're not paying attention. I don't know if you're not getting it. Do you think that it would be right or fair or legally appropriate for you to be sued by him, because the law would require that he support this baby until the baby is 21 years old? And you would come to me and say to me, Judge, I fell in love with this baby. I changed my mind. I couldn't give him up. Do you think he could sue you?
He's suing me for speakers.
Well,
I don't see
he's not. He may sue you for speakers, but that's not going to happen here. You have no claim against him. He changed his mind. He's allowed to change his mind, just as the law would give you an opportunity to change your mind soon. Within 24 hours, some places 48 hours. That's a very important time. So your parents are now responsible for taking care of your baby.
I am.
But you live at home.
Yes, ma'am, but I pay for everything. I've gotten no help from him. My parents have been helping me out as much as they can.
So I say to you, your parents are responsible for the baby. He says that it's been made very difficult for him to see his son. Why is that?
Because my lawyers have said that unless he helps out, he got arrested a week after the baby was born.
For what?
Theft of property. He got fired from his job. He stole. Even his little friend over there knows about it. He got arrested and fired from his job for stealing. He stole digital cameras, CD players. He stole cameras. He stole lots of stuff. I thought my birthday present was, I don't know how he would have gotten $500 to get my birthday present. But I have
Okay.
that.
So,
And then I have,
had he been arrested before?
I don't know, not to my knowledge.
Listen to
So,
me.
Yes, ma'am.
Comes under the category of you picked him.
Yes, ma'am, I know.
And he's got an interest in seeing this child. Now, your lawyers may say to you, unless he contributes to the baby's support, he's not going to see him. But that's being very short-sighted. Listen, it's being very short-sighted because let's say a year from now or 2 years from now, he's working, he's got a good job, and he says, now I want to see the baby and I can contribute my $25 a week, whatever it is. And the judge said, yes, you're entitled to, you're the father. Well, then it's been 2 years or a year, and you're introducing a new person into your baby's life rather than have the baby see him regularly. You can't be selfish about that, and you can't be childish. 2 18-year-olds make a baby, but then you have to be a grown-up if you decided to keep him.
Ma'am, I've tried to be as grown-up as possible about this. I've tried to do everything that I possibly can. He threatens me. He's threatened me since the day the baby was, since I took the baby home. He's threatened me since I took the baby home to take me to court. He said that he's going to get full custody of the baby. He would call my house.
That's not a threat. Just a minute.
Yes,
Ms.
ma'am.
Rose, that's not a threat. Now, I know you consider that a threat,
Yes, ma'am.
but it isn't a threat.
Bobby Boone says the mother of his child, Teresa Rose, owes for the cost of car speakers. Teresa says Bobby owes her for interfering with the adoption of their baby.
The law in this country is that in regards to custody disputes between a mother and a father, nobody gets preference. The fact that he may have to prove that he has the ability, the capability, and that he'd be a better parent than you, that's a whole different ball of wax. But he has the legal right to do that. That's not a threat. But I think your lawyer is being very short-sighted if your lawyer says, don't let him see the baby. Very short-sighted. Now, what do you want to say?
After the baby was born, you know, I was giving her money on a regular basis, and then she heard a bunch of stuff about me that wasn't true, and then tells me I can't see my son. I call her house. Her stepdad tells me I was not allowed to call there anymore. I wasn't allowed to come to her house. I was never going to see my son again. That's his words. He took me off before the baby was born to one of his friend's house, and they were telling me, you know, the best thing I can do is give him up, and he'll pick up the pieces. He even mentioned it more than once that if he wanted me in the bottom of Smith Lake, that's where I would be. And up to the point where they told me I wasn't allowed to call or go over there anymore. I was giving her money on a regular basis.
Just 1 second. Have you gone to court with regard to custody and visitation?
Not yet.
Well, why don't you, sir?
Well, that's what I'm working on.
What do you mean working on it? You don't have to work on it. You have the right to go into your local family court or juvenile court, file a petition asking to legally be declared the father of this child,
yes,
and asking for either custody, if you feel as if you're the better parent,
well,
or visitation, regular court-ordered visitation, and they will also fix a support schedule for you. Yeah. The problem, Mr. Boone, is, and I don't want you to feel so angry at her parents, because her parents know that an 18-year-old who is now saddled with an infant, that changes her life forever, as it may change your life forever.
yes.
Her parents clearly understand that if she were prepared to do that, that would probably be in her best interest to do it, if she were prepared to do that, if she felt as if it were in her best interest. So you are really affecting her, her family, her parents, the baby, and you have a job doing what?
Well, right now I'm working delivering pizza.
You're a pizza delivery person.
And
just pay attention. You're a pizza delivery person. Do you know how much the reports indicate it costs to raise a child in this country from age 0 to 21?
No, ma'am.
$260,000 if you want to educate your child, medically take care of your child, clothe your child, sporting equipment, sneakers, orthodontist, etc., etc., etc.
The job I have, it has excellent benefits, and he would be on my insurance, and you know, I would take full responsibility for him, and that's what I...
Not on $12 an hour, you won't, Mr. Boone. In the meantime, you have a responsibility as a father, and that is to go to court and file a petition seeking to legally be declared the father of this child in a court. Say, right now I'm delivering pizzas. I'll give you a piece of what I earn. I want to support him, but I also want to see him. Go ahead.
Ma'am, I have done as much as I can to let him see the baby, even though my parents tell me not to.
Shh.
Even though my parents tell me not to talk to him and stuff, I will still call him. He never even asks about the baby. I'll sit there, I'll talk to him, he'll ask me how I am, he'll ask...
Mr. Boone, don't interrupt her.
He will never even ask how the baby is. He has not helped me, yes, the first month or so before he started saying, oh, I want my speakers back, because I made it perfectly clear to him that we were not going to get back together because he hurt me so badly. I'm sorry, that just is a very emotional thing. I was in the hospital, just had my baby. and I found out it was going to go home with him. His home is not a safe. I don't feel it is a.
That's not emotionally hurting you. Listen to me. You said, I am giving this baby up. He said, I don't want to. I am going to fight to keep the baby so that I will have him in my life. That's not a trick.
I went to...
Shh. He had a choice. Just as I said to you, Miss Rose, you could have the same change of heart. You could have had the same change of heart. Fact is, you didn't. And it's going to be very difficult for you. But it's a big mistake not to let him see this baby in a comfortable circumstance so that he and the child develop a relationship now without acrimony, without fighting. Anyway, your lawsuit's dismissed, and Miss Rose, so is yours. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Oh my God, he lives in a nasty little trailer. They have roaches. They have 5 people living in a little single wide trailer.
She's let me see him 3 times in over a month.
He got fired for stealing a week after the baby was born.
You know, I've made some mistakes, but, you know, I've paid for my mistakes.
He only wanted to keep me, and that's just that.
And now the next case.
All parties on Choka versus Chavez. Step forward, please.
26-year-old hairstylist Diane Choka is suing her sister's ex-fiancé, 26-year-old dock worker Shane Chavez, for the deposit on a wedding reception.
Miss Choka, the defendant is your sister's former fiancé.
Yes.
And according to your complaint, you loaned him $500 to put down as a deposit on a hall for the wedding.
Correct.
Wedding was called off. You want your $500 back.
Correct.
So let me hear about the circumstances of this loan.
My sister and him were planning on buying a house, so she was trying to put down all the money toward the house and that, and he agreed to pay for the hall, but at the time he didn't have the money for the down payment on the hall.
Just a minute. Wait.
So I went ahead and put the money on the down payment on the hall.
Just a second. Let's go back. He didn't have the money.
Correct.
Did the two of you have a discussion?
Yes.
Tell me where and when you had the discussion.
It was basically over the phone constantly, and
Not constantly. When did you have the discussion that I will put down the $500 for the hall for you?
when they planned on getting married, I don't know the exact date that they set the date, you know, when they were
Well, I
going to
want
get
to
married.
hear about where you were when you had this discussion. And did you have the discussion?
I was at home.
And you spoke to him on the phone?
Correct. And I've also talked to him in person.
Well, I want to hear the first conversation you had about the $500. Do you remember it?
I was on the phone with him, and my sister was also at his house or his apartment because they were living together.
Right.
And I said I would go ahead and put the money down on the hall, in the understanding that he would pay back the $500.
Not understanding. I want you to tell me what words were exchanged.
I asked if he would pay back the money, and he said yes when he got his tax returns in.
Go ahead, let me hear.
I did offer to pay back the $500. I never asked for the money to be loaned to me.
Okay, just a second.
Go ahead.
You had the conversation with her on the phone.
Correct.
Tell me about your version of the conversation.
The conversation just went as pretty much as she said. She had asked me if I was going to pay her back the money, and I agreed to pay back the money, just over verbal conversation over the phone. It was mainly because I wasn't wanting to pay it back. It's just out of kindness to her. That was pretty much all of it, and to get her off the phone and leave me alone. That was pretty much the whole bit, because she was calling every 3 days asking me about this.
Asking you about what?
Asking me about the money.
What about the money?
After everything was said and done with the wedding being called off and all that.
No. I'm talking about at the time, Mr. Chavez. Mm-hmm. The time she said she would put the money down on the hall. Did you say to her, I'll pay you back?
No, at that time I did not say anything like
Well,
that.
I want you to tell me about the conversation.
There was none. I'm guessing that her and Lori had went to the hall and just rented it.
When did you tell her that you would pay her back the $500?
After everything was said and done, the relationship was over.
After it was over?
Yes.
And tell me about those conversations.
She'd called the house about 3 times in 1 week, asking me about it. My sister would answer the phone at times, and she wasn't able to, give verification of where I was or anything like that. And I finally got to talk to her, and I told her just out of point blank, yeah, I'll pay you back the money.
Fine, good. So that's what you agreed to do, right?
Over the phone, yes. It was
Over
pretty
the
much.
phone, in person.
Well, it's.
And you didn't pay you back the money?
No.
Initially, even if I find that there was no contract, sir.
Well, it's not only that aspect of it. You got the aspect that Lori over here. Lori is marrying everybody. Okay. Lori is marrying Jimmy and Billy Bob and whoever else is around her. Okay.
Yeah.
The money originally did not come from Diane. The money originally did not come from Lori. The original money to put down the hall was from a prior wedding that Lori was supposed to be in.
No.
Hand down. Yeah.
That Lori was supposed to be in. The gentleman that she was supposed to marry originally put $500 down for a wedding hall. That wedding got canceled all of a sudden, you know, more problems. You know, that money then got rolled over to Diane, and Diane agreed to pay Lori back the $500.
No. We lost out the money from her first wedding. Here is my canceled check that the bank makes a copy of to the hall that they were supposed to get married at. Came out of my pocket, not my sister's, no one else's.
Okay. I don't necessarily believe that you had a conversation with him where he asked you for a loan of $500 to put down on the hall. I think that you and your sister and your mother went down, reserved the hall, he broke it off, and then you started to ask him about this money. But once he agreed to pay you back, he agreed to pay you back.
More of an annoyance than it was just to actually
Well,
pay her the
then,
money.
So, is she,
You
so?
get creditors calling your house constantly, you know, you got some kind of legal binding there, you know. I just got her to get her off my back. That's pretty much it.
Good, so why
So
didn't
was
you
said
pay her?
no?
Just a minute, so you told her you'd pay her. Why didn't you pay her to get her off your
I
back?
had no intentions to begin with. It wasn't my money. I never asked for the money. It was just
It was
put
for
up.
your wedding.
It was just there.
It was for your wedding.
It was for her wedding. I was just a participant that happened to be there.
Judgment
just
for the
there.
plaintiff in the amount of $500. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may case number 174 on the calendar in the matter of Lopez versus Gonzalez. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have seats, please.
Mr. Lopez, you and the defendant have a child together. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
It is your complaint that the defendant had you arrested on false charges of assault, domestic violence, and you want to be compensated for that. And in addition, you want a home entertainment center that you say was yours, that is in the defendant's home. The defendant says that the home entertainment center was a gift. You did, in fact, assault her, and she is counterclaiming for her injuries.
I don't have nothing. He took everything.
Defendant says the home entertainment center was a gift. Do you still have it?
No, he took everything.
She doesn't have it. And that you did, in fact, assault her. And her counterclaim is for the injuries that she suffered during the course of this assault, which occurred around Christmas time. Is that right?
Christmas Day.
Okay. All right, Mr. Lopez. Were you living with the defendant at the time that you were arrested?
I was moving out. I was in the moving out.
He was already a week out.
I'm going to get to you in a minute, but don't interrupt him. What do you mean you were in the process of moving out? What does that mean?
The day after Thanksgiving, we had a really big argument and we had broken up. So we made an agreement
That is
by
not
no
true.
later than the first week of January that I had to have everything of mine moved out and be completely moved out. I was staying between there, like one or few days if I babysitted my son, or I stood at my best friend's house or my mother's house.
So most of the time you weren't living there?
Yes.
All right. So tell me about Christmas Day. You came over to the house?
What happened was we agreed to meet up at my best friend's house. We picked up my son and her son, her other child, and we agreed to go back to her house, to her apartment, and open up the children's gifts together. And from there, when we arrived at the home, we opened the gifts. She asked me to stay a little bit longer while she took a shower so I could watch the children. I agreed. At that time, I received a phone call from my fiancé on my fiancé's cell phone, just before she went to the bathroom to take a shower. At that time, I was speaking to her. I explained to her what time I was going to be finished. I explained to her that she was going to take a shower and I was going to meet up with her right after. At that time, she began screaming, saying stuff that didn't need to be said over the phone for my fiancé to hear. So at that time, I said, why are you acting up? You know what? I'm not going to stay. I'm leaving. She began an argument. I tried to leave. I had my son in my arms with the cell phone. She wouldn't let me leave. So I said, you know what? I'm leaving. I'm leaving my son. I put my son down in the crib. At that time, I dropped the cell phone in the crib without knowledge when I put my son down. I tried to leave. She blocked the doorway. I kept on explaining to her, move, I want to leave. I'm not staying, I'm out. She didn't want to let me. So then I barged through. She had her arms spread out against the doorway, holding me, not letting me go. So when I barged through so I could leave, she scratched her arm. So I left. When I got outside, I went to go call my fiancé.
That is not even
And
true.
when I got downstairs,
Ms. Gonzalez,
came
I don't
back.
want to hear it's not true again. Do you understand?
No problem.
No, that's not an answer. The answer is yes, Your Honor, I understand. I will not interrupt again.
Yes, Your Honor, I understand. I will not interrupt. again.
That's right. Go ahead.
So outside, I went to make an attempt to call my fiancé, and I noticed I didn't have the phone. So when I went back upstairs,
That was stupid.
because the phone was upstairs,
That was stupid.
I went and I looked for the phone. And
Say yes, that was
yes,
stupid.
Yes, it was stupid. So I asked her if she
I
had
mean,
the
you
cell
just
phone.
gotten out of the house. You pushed her. She scratched her arm, according to you. You leave the cell phone and you go. You don't go back into a confrontational area, sir. That's stupid, Mr. Lopez.
Yes, Your
All
Honor.
right, so you go back upstairs. What happened when you went back upstairs?
When I got upstairs, I asked her, did she have the cell phone? She said, I don't have it. So as I looked through the house, I remembered I had it in my hand when I put my son down. When I looked into the crib, my son wasn't in the crib. I went and I found my cell phone under the sheet. Again, I attempted to leave. Again, she blocked my way. I said, just move, then move. At that time, she told me she had called the cops and I was going to be arrested. I said, well, I'm leaving. And outside the door, a lady, which I had never seen before in this building for the whole year I was living there, had my son. As I attempted to take my son from the lady, 2 female officers were coming upstairs.
What were you taking your son from the lady for?
I didn't know the lady. If I don't know the person, I don't want nobody I don't know having my son in my hands. I don't know what they'll do. So the 2 officers were downstairs. They came, and they brought us all into the apartment, me, her, and the 2 kids. While we were in the apartment, the officers explained because it's a domestic problem, they were going to arrest both of us. At that time, they would take both children and put them in child custody. I said, I'm not pressing no charges, I don't want nothing, I just want to go home. My son can stay, I have no problem. At that time, the female officer told me to stand by the door, don't move. So at that time, there was a knock at the door. 2 more officers came, 2 male officers now. We go back inside, she's in there screaming. Next thing you know, all I hear is her mother screaming at me. Jason, I wouldn't do this to you, and she said, why are you doing this? I said, what's going on? The officer said, turn around, and they handcuffed me. Later, when I was taken down to central booking for arrest, I was informed of the charges. It was assault with weapon, child endangerment. They said I put a knife to my son's back. At no time did I ever touch a knife to grab against my son. Because of that, I had charges of an ACS for attempt on my child, and
All right, you were held in jail for 2 days, is that right?
for, yeah, almost 2 days. I called my fiance.
All right, the charges were subsequently dismissed when you decided to drop all charges against each other, is that right?
Yeah.
Do you see your son now so regularly?
No.
Why not?
I still can't because she won't let me see my son.
Uh-huh.
It's a struggle for me to see my son.
All right.
And every time we went to family court for me to get a chance to see my son, she made false charges, knowing I was going to get visitation of my son, that I'm arrested.
Okay. I'd like to see first the medical bills that you have as a result of this incident on Christmas Day.
I didn't get to get the medical bills because this happened so quick that I didn't get a chance to get them. So I have my pictures.
Let me see all the papers you have. All the papers.
Your Honor, Judy.
Shh, just a minute.
I have a scar on my left hand.
Just a minute.
And the lady that
Just a
called,
second. These scratches are what you're talking about?
Yeah, I had a scratch.
All right.
I had a hairline fracture in my left hand.
Don't tell me you had a hairline fracture without any medical bills, without reports. Don't tell me about a hairline fracture.
Excuse me, Judge.
I'll get to you in a minute.
Thank you.
I have a few questions for Ms. Gonzalez. The police officer took this report, took your statement, is that right?
Yes, and on the statement,
I'm speaking. The police officer who took the report took your statement, and he read the statement to you, is that right?
yes, he did.
And after he read the statement, he asked you if it was accurate, is that right?
Yes, he did.
And you said it was accurate, is that right?
That's right.
And you signed it.
Yes.
And you wouldn't have left out anything vitally important, is that right?
No.
So I'm going to read what you wrote in the statement.
I didn't write that. The officer.
What I don't care whether you wrote it or the officer wrote it. I just asked you whether he read it to you and whether you signed it. You said yes.
Jason Lopez says ex-girlfriend Suhey Gonzalez had him falsely arrested for domestic abuse. Suhey claims Jason slammed her hand in a door and held a knife to their son's throat.
All right, Ms. Gonzalez, I'm going to read what you wrote in this police report. It says, at the time and place listed above, the perpetrator, that's him, who is the victim's common-law husband, did grab the victim by her throat, choked her, at which time he forced her left hand between the door and the wall and repeatedly slammed the door on the victim's hand, causing substantial pain and swelling to the victim's left hand. That's what this says, okay? Now I'm going to tell you what you wrote in your answer. When I told him to leave, he grabbed our son and tried to take him. When I tried to stop him, he pulled a knife out and held it to my son's neck. He said, if you don't let me take him, I'll kill both of us.
No, they didn't write it in the police.
They wrote nothing about a knife threatening to kill himself, threatening to kill this child. You know why they didn't write that down? Because you didn't tell them that.
Is that you?
No. Because you didn't tell them that.
All right,
at the
I
time.
didn't tell them exactly at the time.
Right, at the
Because
time.
they had me in a separate room,
Hey,
they had him outside.
Just a second. At the time, you didn't tell them that he took out a knife, he held it to the baby's throat, he threatened to kill the baby. You told him that he hurt your hand and your hand was in pain, not that he threatened to kill your child. You made that up later.
No, I did not.
Oh, yes, you did.
Oh, no, I did not.
Oh, yes, you did.
They knew that he was the one. Can I say something
yeah,
now?
yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
In that
you
police report, the lady signed, she's the one who signed right next to the statement, not me. Because I didn't call the cops because he broke my phone, and that's why. I didn't call the cops. The lady from my building called the cops. She's the one who had both of my kids because my oldest was crying. She's the one who called the cops.
Okay.
I didn't get a chance to call the cops.
Here we go.
Because he wanted to take my son, just like he took my son 3 weeks ago.
Let me explain to you
kidnap
what
my son.
got you angry, Miss Gonzalez. I've been in this business a long time. He's at your house. According to your answer, he told you a couple of weeks before or a month before, he didn't want to have, I'm speaking, that he didn't want to have anything to do with you anymore. He had a new girlfriend. Clearly, he has a new girlfriend. All right?
Excuse me?
I'm speaking. I'm speaking. He comes over to your house, right? According to your answer. You open up the Christmas presents together. It's all a nice family situation. You ask him to watch the kids while you go take a shower. This is what you write here. When you come out of the shower, you hear him on the phone with his girlfriend. I'm not saying that that's what happened to her. I'm saying that that's what she wrote in her answer. That makes one very angry.
Of course.
Of course. Of course that makes you very angry because there you're here with him, with a new baby. He's taking care of the baby's presents. He's in your house Christmas time, and he's going to say goodbye to you, and he's going to go to girlfriend number...
And it was just a week that we had broken up.
Fine. So you're really angry. The knife was a nice touch. He wasn't arrested with a knife. He wasn't arrested with a knife.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about.
And
you know what I'm talking about.
And I know what happened.
Yeah,
and I know exactly what happened. Because he tried to take my son. He tried to take my son.
Just a second. What do you mean?
That's how... Who called
Hey,
my mother?
Miss
Who called my
Gonzalez.
mother? The lady?
Miss Gonzalez.
That called the cops?
Miss Gonzalez. Is he the father?
Yes, he's the father. And I'm not saying that
I'm
he's
speaking.
not.
Is he the father?
Yes.
Then you have no greater right to this child than he does.
But he kidnapped my son for 3 weeks.
You can't kidnap your own child unless there's an order of custody.
This is recently. We've been going through this. I just want to go on with my life. I want him to go on with his life. If he wants to see his son, he's more than welcome to see his son.
Miss
I have nothing
Gonzalez,
wrong with that.
But
But
I'm
you cannot see his son
I'm
because
going
he
to say
has
1,
order
2, 3,
protection.
then they're going to put you out. When you claim that you were severely assaulted, and the best picture that you can come up with is a picture showing me 2 scratches on your arm. 2 scratches. That's what they are. No hairline fracture, no hospital records, no... Well, all right. This was an argument. And unfortunately, because the police take domestic violence seriously, as they should, they got to arrest somebody.
And I lost my securities license.
Mr. Lopez, you do not get an A+ for smarts. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Ah, you don't get an A+ for going back for a $39.99 cell phone after you have already had an altercation with her, and you were out of the problem. You were outside.
Because he never went outside.
Excuse me?
Because he never went outside.
Because you wouldn't let him go outside, Miss Gonzalez,
because he was
you
trying
were
to kidnap
so
my
angry.
son. He was trying to take my son. And he's devious like that, that he would take my son and leave. Just like he did 3 weeks ago. And that's why he was going to get rearrested. I had to get the cops to come get my son from his house.
You keep saying my son.
Because he's my son. Because he don't pay no child support. He doesn't do nothing.
What do you do for a
He
living?
hasn't done nothing.
What do you do for a living?
I was working.
What do you do for a living now?
Nothing.
Who supports the child?
I do.
No, not if you're not working. You get welfare?
Yes, I do.
If you get welfare, then I support your son. You think I should take him?
Yeah, but I was working.
Just a second. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? He doesn't support his child, and you don't support your child. I support your child. So that means that I should get custody? Don't be ridiculous. All right, Ms. Gonzalez, you keep saying, it's my child. He's taking my child. He's entitled to see his child. It doesn't sound to me like he's too bright.
just stopped working,
Because he went from this child, you're going to have another child? You keep rubbing your belly, right?
Yes.
You got enough trouble with one. You're going to make another one?
Yep.
How many more do you have?
That's the only one. The only one coming.
In any event, I read the police report. I read the police report that doesn't talk about a knife to the throat, threatened to kill the child, threatened to kill anybody, and I see 2 scratches on your arm. You also, sir, yeah, you want to play that for me?
Yes, I even have it.
Go ahead, let me hear it.
But I still can't get over the fact why you had me arrested.
Because I was just upset. The things were going through my mind. I'm admitting I'm sorry.
Oh, so you're admitting that you did get me arrested?
This is why he
Because
was...
of this chick, because I was with another chick?
No, it wasn't only because of that. It was because of a lot of things, Jason.
Oh, okay. But then why are you telling him I punched you in your face, I choked the out of you?
No, I didn't say that.
Gigi, the DA said that in the court.
Mr. Lopez, I didn't even have to listen to that. I mean, I've heard this, I've been around this business now for 27 years, right?
Yes.
And I know, I read your papers, I see her affect, right?
Yes.
And I know exactly what happened. That doesn't mean that you were smart, A, as I said, to go back to the cell phone, B, to get a telephone call from your girlfriend. Tell your girlfriend, don't call me until I call you. I don't want to create any more problems with her. I'm going to open presents with the children. Don't call me. That creates a problem.
We had already opened the gifts. This was around the time I was getting ready to leave.
She shouldn't have called you, and you shouldn't have spoken to her. Say, this is a tacky problem. I don't want there to be any problem with her. Don't call me. I'll be there. I'll be home when I'm home. And the reason she called is because it's a little territorial. She's not so happy either. You're going over to visit mother number 1. She's going to be mother number 2. You know, you got to be
She
smart.
wasn't pregnant at the time.
2 months later. Wow,
Now
big
she
difference.
is. Now she is. Right? And on your security job, you can hardly afford to pay for yourself.
I don't have work.
Listen to me, sir. When you had a security job, you could hardly afford to pay for one child. Now you're going to have two. Did you pay for a lawyer? No. They gave you a free lawyer.
Yes.
You spent a couple of days in jail.
Yes.
You shouldn't have.
And so did I, because he falsely arrested me.
For what?
He said that I made phone harassment. On June 30th, he called me. I have the phone records for that. He called me with my own phone card that he rung up. He falsely arrested me on June 31st. I got arrested. I made the report on June 30th. As soon as the time right after he called me and called them and let them know that he was calling me and harassing me. And he called me with my own phone card. And right after that, he calls his girlfriend and his mother.
No. No.
Ms. Gonzalez, your counterclaim is for the assault that you claim he perpetrated on you
And
on
false
Christmas
arrest.
Day.
It says it on the paper.
And according to your complaint, you are filing for injuries and damages due to the alleged assault. Okay, you do say somewhere in your answer that he filed false charges, but the damages you are requesting are for the assault. And I don't find that he assaulted you, so your counterclaim is dismissed. The only thing that I have to consider now is whether there was an argument and whether, as a result of false statements that you made and continue to make and continue to embellish to the police.
Not me,
Betty,
because
I'm
I wanna go on with my
speaking.
life. He's the one
I'm
who brings me
speaking.
here. For what?
He brought you here
For
because
what?
you...
He keeps calling me and harassing me.
Listen to me. He's known you a long time. I've met you now for about 15 minutes, and I don't think he's crazy. And I wouldn't precipitate phone calls and contact with you because I think that you're an angry lady. I think that you feel as if he jilted you, that he left you high and dry with your baby, and now he's got somebody else. All of those things, doesn't pay child support, you're not working, but that doesn't give you the right to have him arrested and make false allegations, which I believe that you did, and I'm awarding him $1,000 on his claim. That's all. By the way, she doesn't have your entertainment center.
Yes, she
That's
does.
all.
Your Honor, when we went there, the officers explained.
Lawyers are excused. You may step out. Better at this. Judge, this is case number 31 on the calendar in the matter of Heath versus Marple. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have seats, please.
You've had a lot of years of practice.
Yeah.
Ms. Heath, it is your claim that the defendant at some sort of a water party sexually assaulted you while you were riding with him on one of those watercrafts called a sea-doo.
Yes, Your Honor.
When do you allege this happened?
It was August 19th, about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Tell me about the party.
It was a going-away party for one of my husband's coworkers.
It was a going-away party. What kind of a party was it?
A beach party barbecue.
Was it on a lake?
It was on the river, the Colorado River, by the casinos of Laughlin.
Did you know the defendant before the party?
Vaguely. I met him one time outside my garage. And then another
And he's a
time.
co-worker of your husband's?
Yes, Your Honor.
How long have they been working together?
Approximately 4 months prior to this.
And what time did you arrive at the party?
About 3:30.
And tell me, what precipitated your going for a ride with the defendant on this sea-doo?
Well, he offered to take me for a ride, and I asked my husband. He said it was fine.
Well, he offered, but he must have known that you wanted to go for a ride.
Well, later I found out that my husband had asked him to take me for a ride, Your Honor.
Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, about what time was that?
That was approximately 4:30, 5 o'clock.
And you said okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So you both got on the sea-doo. Who was in the front?
He was driving, I was the passenger.
Okay. Where did you go?
Well, I expected to go just, down a ways and turn around and come back. And he kept attempting to pull off to the side, and just short the sea-doo. And he finally did, approximately 3 miles later, under the Laughlin Bullhead Sid Bridge. And then he shored it, and I thought he was doing, what we do when we have people on our boat, just letting the passenger cool off. And then he began speaking highly of my husband, that he's a great teacher, he's learned a lot from him, that he was an awesome man and really a good friend to him. And then I said, we've been gone a long time, I think it's time that we go back. And he said, oh, no, but don't you want to drive back? And I said, no, I don't, because I have very sore area here, and I didn't want the handlebars in front of me, Your Honor. And he insisted.
When you say he insisted, he said, no, why don't you drive?
No, he said, I want you to drive back. Why don't you just get on there and drive back? And I said, fine, I'm driving back, let's go.
Okay, so?
And so we got just a little ways under the bridge. Before we took off, he put his hands on my thighs, Your Honor, here, instead of around my vest. And I thought that maybe that's just the way he wanted to hold on. But before he got under the bridge, he pulled his hands up higher into my bathing suit. And I turned to him and I said,
what the F are you doing? And he had dead eyes, Your Honor. He didn't hear me. He wasn't there. And so I hit a wake of the ferry, and I threw him in the water. But the Sea-Doo wouldn't go because he had the plug on his vest. And then he got back on the Sea-Doo, only got it started again. And just a few minutes later, he put his hands back inside me. And here's my bathing suit. And he, with his right hand, he forced himself inside me. And the harder we hit the bumps, the harder I was driving. He kept pushing himself under my butt. And I kept continuing to scream at him, "What the hell are you doing? Knock that off." And then he fell over my back. And I looked up ahead and I saw a man standing on the dock. And I thought it was my husband. But it wasn't, Your Honor. It was the supervisor. And he helped me. And as soon as he put his hands on me, I just got out of the water. And I turned around and I looked at my husband and the man that was leaving. It was like a Wade party. And they were having such a good time that I just crawled inside of myself. And I just swam in the river.
When, for the first time, did you report this incident?
I reported it to my husband Saturday night on the way going home.
Did you contact the police?
Yes, ma'am.
When?
On the 23rd.
Why did you wait 3 days?
Here's a police report.
Why did you wait 3 days?
I don't know, ma'am.
How long did you stay at the party after you got off the Sea-Doo?
Approximately 2.5 hours.
Why did you stay at the party 2.5 hours?
Because my husband was having such a good time, I didn't want to ruin his good time. I'd also like to offer to the court detective statement.
I'd like to see that too.
And my therapist's statement and my chiropractor's statement for the damage to my neck.
The police department took your bathing suit. Did they return it to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Did they perform any tests on it?
Yes, Your Honor. They said it was inconclusive because of being in the river and the swimming pool. I have it right here, Your Honor.
I don't have to see it. This report says that you didn't tell your husband on the way home. This report says that you told your mother when you got home and eventually told your husband.
No, that's wrong, Your Honor. I did tell my husband, and then when he went to bed, I went in and woke up my mother, and I told my mother, and I showed her the marks and the bruises that he left on me.
Were there marks and bruises on you?
Yes, ma'am.
Where were the marks?
On my genital area.
Would you step up, please? Tell me your last name.
Rose.
Miss Rose, do you live with your daughter and son-in-law?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember that evening of the 19th of August?
Yes, I do.
Can you tell me what you recall of the conversation you had with your daughter?
After she told me what happened, I asked her, let's go in and let me look. I can only look and tell you what I think.
What do you mean you only could tell her what you think?
You know, how it looked and everything, because I'm not a doctor. And
Did she complain of any discomfort?
Yes, she did.
What did she say to you about the discomfort?
That it was burning and it was bleeding all around.
All around?
Yes.
So what did you do?
About 6 inches from her hip down, it looked like somebody had ground up meat. All red and dark and black.
Did you see any marks in her vaginal area?
Yes. There was plenty. It was red. It was definitely red. The whole thing was red. Both
Okay.
sides and down.
Have a seat.
Andy Heath says she was sexually assaulted by her husband's former co-worker, S. Lyle Marple. Andy says the attack occurred while S. Lyle was giving her a ride on his jet ski.
All right, Mr. Marple, tell me about the ride that you and Miss Heath took.
Well, the party started like at 3 o'clock. About 3:10, we went down to the pool area, and I started getting stuff out for the party. And then a few minutes later, her husband's yelling for me to give her a ride because she's down on the dock and she won't leave the dock until somebody gives her a ride on the Sea-Doo. So I went up and got the jackets, went down, gave her one. We put them on. We got on the Sea-Doo. When she first got on, she grabbed a hold of my shoulders. Then she grabbed my waist, and we took off up the river. Then her hands were down on my thighs. First, she just wanted to ride. Then when she got on it, she wanted to drive it. So I pulled into the beach. She got off. She jumped in the water, cooled down, and we sat, and she talked for a while, talking about her husband and stuff. And then she wanted to ride the jet ski, so I let her ride. She got on. I got on behind her, and she took off wide open. I told her to keep it slow, you know. And then she just zigzagged down through the water.
At some point, did you fall off?
No.
At no point you fell off the Sea-Doo?
No. As we were going down, she hit a big wave, and we jumped up in the air, which made the Sea-Doo unplug, and we came back down on the Sea-Doo.
But you remained on it?
Oh, yeah. If I would have fell off, it's hard to get back on.
You say he fell off?
Yes, Your Honor.
How did he get back on?
Very easily. He just crawled up on the back of it and got on the seat, plugged it in, started it up.
All right. Got back to the party, and the plaintiff stayed at the party for a period of about 2.5 hours.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that right?
Yes. We pulled in, and that's when I helped her guide it back up to the dock because I didn't want her to run into the dock and hit the kill switch so we could get off.
There was another young woman who you also gave a ride to on your Sea-Doo.
Yes. Wanted to ride?
How old is she?
13.
Did she take control of the Sea-Doo at any time?
Yes.
She wanted to drive also.
That's what everybody wants to do. Everybody wants to ride on it, then they want to drive it.
When you gave it your ride, were your hands on her thighs or around her waist?
They were right below the vest, which had been right above her thighs, and on front of her, on her legs. Because when they take off, you got to grab on because there's nothing to hold on to. There's no straps there to hold on to, and everything's wet. When you take off fast.
We live along, excuse me.
I didn't ask anything.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Were you a witness to any of this?
Yes, I was.
Oh, then I'll hear you. Step up. Tell me your last name.
Harold Tobin.
Do you work with these gentlemen?
I worked with him formerly, and then he moved on, and so we became friends, and he invited me to a party.
So tell me what you witnessed.
Well, I was going to comment on Sea-Doos. We live on the river. To grab underneath the jacket to help hold on, or there's straps across the jacket for a vest is another hold-on point. So that's a common place to hold on.
So you hold on to the vest.
Right. You grab your hands
Listen to
underneath
listen
the
to me.
vest.
You hold on to the vest.
Yes.
Not to somebody's thighs.
But understand, yes, I agree.
Right? Thank you. Sit down. I live on a lake, too. I see Sea-Doos all the time. You ever been on a Sea-Doo?
No, ma'am.
Me neither. Ever seen them?
I've seen them.
Ever had a desire to go on one?
Negative.
Me neither. Me neither. Let me ask you this question, Mr. Marple. Would it surprise you if I told you that this 13-year-old girl that you gave a ride to had a measure of discomfort at the way you were holding her during the time that she was riding the Sea-Doo when she was driving it?
Probably at first, because when you take off, everybody about falls off.
I'm not talking about that kind of discomfort. I'm talking about the kind of discomfort that comes from the way you were holding on to her on her thighs instead of holding on to the jacket.
No. If you hold up high, they're controlling you, pushing them back and forth. You hold down here, you're more stable.
He does.
No.
He does. He grabs the jacket or under the jacket. Life jackets come waist high. So you either grab underneath or you grab around if somebody is thin enough. But I never heard of grabbing hold of somebody's thighs to hold on.
If a life
or
jacket's
legs
on,
or upper thighs, because that's what you call the area where you say put at your waist, but you put it at your waist, your fingers are extended, that could slip a little bit. That slips a little bit in a place where it's not supposed to be. Mr. Marple, did you take a polygraph test?
Yes.
Did you get the results of the polygraph test?
No, they didn't give me any of it. They didn't give me any tapes, and they didn't give me all the polygraph tests.
Did you ever tell anybody that you passed the polygraph test?
Yes.
Were you ever told that you passed the polygraph test?
No, I just figured I'd pass the polygraph test.
Well, according to the Bullhead City Police Department, the results of the test shows that you were deceptive in your responses, which would mean inconclusive. Did you take one?
No, Your Honor.
Why not?
It's against medical orders.
Against whose medical orders?
My therapist.
Why would your therapist tell you not to take a polygraph test?
I volunteered, Your Honor.
So I don't understand why you didn't take one.
Because my doctor told me that it was against my best interest because I was heavily sedated and having a hard time dealing with this.
Can you think of any reason whatsoever that the plaintiff would make up a story about having been sexually assaulted by you?
I believe she was miserable living in Bullhead City. She wanted to move, so she wasn't happy. She couldn't keep a job. They weren't getting along good at home.
Who told you all of these things?
Just from talking to people.
Was that before or after this incident?
This was before.
So before this incident, you knew all these things about her, that she was miserable living in Bullhead City?
Yeah.
That she was unhappy at home?
Yes.
So you think that the response to that was claiming that she had been sexually assaulted by you?
That, and she had nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Like what?
She had money, because she was going to sue. She had more drugs, because she could go to the doctor and complain. So she had the sympathy of everybody that was kind of disgusted with her, and now they were falling over backwards, feeling sorry for her about this thing that happened, which didn't happen. And
Excuse me, Your Honor, that's incorrect.
What's incorrect, Miss Heath?
That I have people crawling all over me. I can't even stand having people around
Would you step up, please? Yes. Mr. Heath, I want you to tell me about exactly when your wife told you about what happened on the Sea-Doo.
I was about halfway home from the party.
And what did she say?
She said that she didn't want me to be upset, but that I had hurt her while she was on the Sea-Doo. And I asked her if she could be more specific, and she pretty much didn't want to tell me about the exact extent of it. It took her about 3 months of therapy and everything before she wanted me to know the exact specifics.
So she didn't actually tell you what happened.
She told me that he had fondled her and groped her.
When did she tell that to you?
That night.
That night?
Mm-hmm. I tried to urge her to go to the hospital, and she didn't want anything to do with that. She just wanted to go straight home. And I thought she was like in shock, so I tried to get her to go willingly to the hospital. And
How long have you been married?
I've been married for 10 years. Been together for 12.
Steve, I want you to listen very carefully to my question, sir. Has your wife ever made an allegation of sex abuse against anyone else?
No, Your Honor.
Has she ever claimed that anyone who you worked with or any social friend made any untoward advances towards her?
No, Your Honor.
After she told you about this incident, the next day, what did you do?
I pretty much was trying to talk to her about it, and she kept crying hysterically, and she wouldn't really tell me any of the specifics of exactly, what had happened. She had me go to a visit with her psychologist, and that is when together the three of us sat down, and that's when she told me there.
When was that visit with the psychologist?
It's been a couple of months ago.
Was it shortly after the incident?
No, it's about 3 months.
After the incident?
Yes, ma'am.
Had your wife been seeing this psychologist before?
Never.
Was your wife ever in psychiatric or psychological treatment before this incident?
Never.
Was your wife taking any sort of medication, antidepressants, prior to this incident?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I'd like to make a statement, tell them what I saw, and then my wife needs to make a statement.
Well, I would like to hear what somebody witnessed. You didn't indicate that you witnessed anything.
I witnessed a lot.
Well, let me hear what you witnessed, sir. I'm anxious to hear what you witnessed. Go ahead.
I was one of the first guests to arrive to the party. I met these people at the pool. I introduced my wife to them. I recall the incident where her husband was yelling up to Stanley about giving his wife a ride, and that she went off for the ride. I remember her coming back, but I remember her being happy when the vest saying that they hit a hard wake and it unplugged and it came off. We have a videotape showing that she had a wonderful time through the whole party. She left late into the night, and I was surprised because she got in an argument with another co-worker with these gentlemen about an incident said, and I was just surprised how angry she was on that. And the guy was holding his little kid, and after they left, I was asking him what was said, and it was something just minute, but I was so shocked how angry she was. And this was into the night.
Tell me what it was.
It was just her. Okay, what it was is that what the guy told me, he was holding his kid, that when he was bent over picking up something or something bent over, the guy said his boss sees him in that position all the time. And then she got angry about it.
So somebody made a sexual innuendo at the party about her husband.
Right.
And she became angry, and in your judgment, her anger went over the top at that point.
But for just that, while after the ride, she was calm and laughing, and
okay,
she
you
was
said you had a video. I'll look at the video. You have it?
Yes, we do.
Let me see it.
Down, this is case number 142 in the matter of Bevilacqua versus Bonnet, and case number 143 in the matter of Kaiser versus Bonnet. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Perhaps we could finally put this unfortunate incident to rest. According to what I read, you were crossing the street.
Yes, ma'am.
And you allege that the defendant came into an intersection she shouldn't have been and hit you with her car.
Yes, ma'am.
She didn't severely injure you with her car. You jumped back. She hit you on your knee. Something. Where?
Right. Brushed me about here.
She brushed you. But you weren't hurt.
No, ma'am.
But you were angry. And then an interaction took place between the two of you that was most unfortunate on both of your parts, which resulted in you being arrested.
No, I was never arrested.
Taken into custody at some point, charged with an assault.
Charged, yes.
with an assault. All right.
Strong arm robbery.
Charged with something.
Okay.
And those charges were eventually dropped by the district attorney's office. But am I correct in reading between the lines in your complaint, sir, that there is a restraining order preventing you from going near the defendant?
Well, it's not a restraining order.
What is it?
I'm supposed to stay away from her, which is...
Is it an order for you to stay away from her?
It's not an official restraining order, no.
It is not?
No.
I mean, it's not written anywhere?
No.
The judge just told you to stay away from her?
Oh, no, it's stay away. It's not... Okay. I'm supposed to stay away from her until January 25th, of 2002.
Where is that written?
I have it, Your Honor.
May I see it, please?
Those are the trial transcripts, Your Honor.
I'm just looking at the order because he's not sure it was an order. So after this case is over, Mr. Bevilacqua, you are directed to attend 3 hours of anger management classes by the 15th of March of 2001 and stay away from the victim.
Yes.
That was the order, signed by a judge.
Right.
Right. I mean, did you think I was just a fake person here that they picked out of, that they picked out of a supermarket? Didn't you think
No.
that I had any legal experience at all, sir?
Of course.
All right. So, Mr. Bevilacqua, what you want is all kinds of damages from the defendant because you were put through a court process, you were embarrassed, whatever. You want damages in the amount of $5,000. The defendant is cross-claiming. She says that you did, in fact, assault her, and she is counterclaiming for the exact same amount, $5,000. So we've reached a point where you were brushed by defendant's car. Pick it up from there, Mr. Bevilacqua.
Okay, I fell back, I yelled, yo. I looked up to see the driver of the car flash her middle finger at me and take off.
Okay.
Continued walking home, got up the street, and saw a car that looked just like the one that had just sideswiped me, frantically trying to get into this parking spot. And I just went up and said, excuse me, was that you who just turned on to 3rd off of Rose? And she said, yes. And then I said, well, you just sideswiped me with your car. And she said, what exact words?
Of course.
Super. She said, you, I don't care, I'm tired, I just came from the airport. And then I said, no, wrong answer. Okay, you ask me if I'm okay, you tell me that you're sorry, and then I go. And then she exploded.
What do you mean she exploded?
She screamed, don't you tell me what to do, you stupid... swung her fist at me.
Did she hit you?
I blocked it. Well,
And what did you do?
that was it. Walked, I said, told her she was crazy and she should watch it or she's going to kill somebody, and I walked away.
And then what happened?
I got about 10 feet away, and boom, got it from behind. Turned around, and it was her screaming. Screaming threats, screaming, obscenities, everything. And waving her sunglasses at me. There was a little scratch in her sunglasses that had fallen out of her hand.
How did they fall out of her hand?
Because they were in her hand when she hit me, along with her keys.
Did she ever ask you for your name? During that period of time, she was asking you for your name.
She may have, but you know what?
Okay.
She was crazy.
That's not what I asked.
I'm sorry. Yes, she probably.
Don't be a wise guy in here, sir.
I'm sorry,
There's only
ma'am.
one wise person in here.
Yes, ma'am.
That's Bird.
So I couldn't go home because she was following me. She followed, so I just was walking around. She followed me for almost an hour, screaming. And at one point, we were near my apartment, and I wanted her to go away. I turned and tried to reason with her. And I said, listen, your road rage or whatever drugs are on, you're making me completely insane. Please leave me alone. And she screamed no, that I had to give her $200 and some for her sunglasses. And I said, I didn't break your sunglasses. I'm not paying for them. And then she said, oh, yeah, well, I'm going to tell the police you assaulted me, and they'll make you pay. And then I came to the store at the corner of 5th and Rose. And my girlfriend, Tamara, comes walking out of the store because she had been there, like, buying something. And Tamara sees this going on, comes over and goes, oh, my God, are you okay? And she goes after Tamara. She starts screaming threats and obscenities at Tam, starting with, do you know, should have Tamara thrown in jail, goes over behind the car, screaming, you're not going anywhere, you blah, 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 I'm going to track you down, blah. So she's blocking the exit. I went up to her from the side and said exactly, hey, lady, yo, I'm leaving. Got about 15 feet away, and then boom, got it again, turned to Tamara and screamed, go, get out of here, I'll deal with her, go. So I let her scream at me for another few minutes, and then take off, cut through the alley, go to a friend's place.
Okay. Apparently, you got her license plate number.
That's correct.
And through that, you got his name.
That's correct.
Okay. Police contacted you. What out-of-pocket expenses did you have as a result of this incident, sir?
$12,500.
For what?
Legal fees.
You have a bill for that?
Oh, sure. Okay.
Okay. And I'd like to see that. Then I have a couple of pointed questions because I let you tell your story. I see the checks made payable directly to the lawyer. Mr. Bevilacqua.
Yes.
I read your complaint very carefully, and what I want to know first is, you saw her park her car, and you had a conversation with her, and clearly you could see that you weren't getting anywhere. Why didn't you, before this thing escalated, just go over to her car and take down her license plate number? Go over to a phone booth, take out your cell phone, call the police, and say, license plate number so-and-so just hit me and took off. I was a pedestrian. Wouldn't that have been the smart thing to do, sir?
Yes, it was, and I regret it now.
That would have been the smart thing to do.
May I explain?
No, that would have
Okay.
been the smart thing to do.
Yes,
Any
ma'am.
explanation would be stupid.
Okay.
Stephen Bevilacqua says he was falsely arrested for assault because Ann Bonnet lied to police. Stephen claims it all started when Ann nearly ran him over.
Now, why don't you tell me, you're going through the intersection and you were in the intersection at that point illegally?
I made a right-hand turn from a busy street onto a residential street. While I was going through the crosswalk, I saw a gentleman step off the far side of the crosswalk. I continued down the road and then heard this screaming and looked in my rearview mirror, and I saw a gentleman screaming at me and giving me the finger.
That was this gentleman?
Yes.
Now, I want to know, first, do you have any of the police reports?
I do.
I'd like to see them all, please.
It's the LAPD.
Where had you been coming from, Dr. Bonnet?
Coming from the airport.
Where had you been?
San Francisco.
For how long?
For 4 days, sir. Ma'am.
What were you doing there?
I was taking an exam.
How many days was the exam?
It was a 3-hour exam on Sunday, the day of the incident.
So it was a pretty stressful day.
It was.
Okay, continue.
So I went through the intersection and heard the screaming, looked behind,
Saw him. You didn't know you would hit him. Go
I
ahead.
had not hit him, Your Honor.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I believe that you probably brushed him. You didn't hurt him, but you didn't stop your car.
No,
now,
I didn't
keep
stop
going.
my car.
Keep going.
I also held up my right middle finger in the rearview mirror. I continued up and over a hill, another 1,000 feet, to my residence and parked on the right-hand side of the street. I was getting my stuff out of the car when a man came, who I did not recognize, came running up to me and said, "Did you just turn onto this street?" I said, "Yes." He started swearing at me at that point and said, "You are the so-and-so who almost hit me. Do you realize that?" And then you gave me the finger. And I said, "You gave me the finger first." At which point he became enraged, lunged at me with his right hand, scratched my right face, took my glasses, threw them on the ground, and they broke. The glasses are here, and I have photographs as well.
Oh, well, I'd like to see the photographs, and could you please indicate in this police report where it indicates that you were injured? Take a look at these police reports and show me where it indicates you were
I have
injured.
a photo of the injury, ma'am.
I don't want to see the photo. Well, I'll look at the photos of the injury. I want to see in the police reports, because they're voluminous, where police always indicate what the marks are that they've seen, what was the complaint. I want to see where the police officers noted any injuries to you.
Here at the bottom, it says she took pictures of the scratch to my face.
Let me see.
Last paragraph.
Now, I want to see where the officer wrote down on a report. You see, on the first page of this report, he writes down type of property taken, receipt, nature of the injury, none, according to the police officer. Nature of injury, none. Why?
I wanted to find out if they wanted to take notice. They took the picture.
Yeah, they noticed nothing. Neither do I. I noticed what looks like a pimple on your forehead.
I was lucky it was a small scratch.
I said I noticed what it looks like a pimple on your forehead. I'm very smart. I don't think his body came into contact with your forehead, madam. I believe that he might have knocked the sunglasses off of your face. Maybe he did that, and maybe the sunglasses were in your hand, as he says, and they fell to the ground, or he knocked them to the ground. I believe that that's possible, too. But I don't believe that he ever put his hands on you. Anybody who would believe that, looking at this picture of this pimple, is a fool. Go ahead. Keep going.
I picked up the sunglasses, and I said, "You just broke my sunglasses. You can't do that." He said, "Yes, I can. This is road rage. I can do anything I want to you."
Fine. At that point, Dr. Bonnet, what would a smart, intelligent, educated person do?
I
would go home.
He knew where I lived, ma'am. He was at my house. I was afraid of him.
So you follow him in the street? That's what you did. You followed him in the street.
That's correct.
And after you followed him in the street, he says you were yelling obscenities at him. Subsequently to that, you accused him of a strong-armed robbery. That's what the police report says.
That's correct.
Well, that was a lie.
He took...
That was a lie.
It's not a lie, Your Honor.
Sure it is. Just like it would be a lie if he said, "I'm filing a report, assault with a deadly weapon." Your car. Car's a deadly weapon. You were where you shouldn't have been. There was a four-way stop sign. He's a pedestrian. He had the right of way. Yes, there was a four-way stop sign. That's what it says right here. If he's out in the street, you have no business moving. So you touched him. That's assault with a deadly weapon. Would that have been overkill, Dr. Bonnet?
That would have been, since it didn't happen.
That would have been overkill if he reported that. Clearly, he wasn't injured. He got up, he walked, he wasn't injured. But he expected somebody to stop and say, "I'm sorry, forgive me, I didn't realize that I hit you. Are you okay?" Instead, you're stressed. According to the police reports, you've gotten 3 hours sleep for the last 5 days because you were studying for these exams. You come home to the airport, they lost your luggage. It was a long day. It was a miserable day. And you acted inappropriately, especially when you filed a complaint against not only him, stand up, but her.
Your Honor, I did not file a complaint.
Oh, yes, you did. When you report to the police a strong-armed robbery and that she's driving the car because you wanted to be able to get his name, and the police go to her house and intimidate her and walk in with handcuffs and tell her that there's complaint of a strong-armed robbery and she's driving the getaway car all over your lousy pair of sunglasses?
The robbery was not the sunglasses, Your Honor. He took a piece of paper from me. That was what the police...
Because you were acting like a nut!
I was not.
You were acting like a nut! Maybe you were stressed, maybe you were tired, but you were acting like a nut. Any smart woman, if they're faced with somebody who is acting inappropriately, and you think he's acting inappropriately, I don't necessarily think so. You could have killed him in your state of stress, and you just kept going. And aside from that, you flipped him off. I would have been infuriated too, but you're a woman, and slightly more vulnerable. So if he comes up to you, and if he's furious, and he knocks your sunglasses to the ground, you take your sunglasses and you say, forget it. How many blocks did you follow him?
He followed...
How many blocks did you follow him?
2. May I tell the rest of my story?
Sure. Because then you're trying to get her license plate. You have the piece of paper in your hand. I read the reports, right? He comes up to you and grabs the piece of paper out of your hand. Is that right?
That's
so far, right? I wouldn't want a nut like you to know where my girlfriend lived either. You were acting like a nut. And then you report that as a strong-arm robbery with her driving the getaway car?
The police decided that that was a strong-arm robbery, the keeping of the paper, which he later returned to the police. He had it in his possession.
I find that you're responsible for his legal fees. And the most I can give him is $5,000, which is exactly what I'm giving him, and I am dismissing your counterclaim. You acted inappropriately on that day, and you should have apologized from the very beginning. Case over. Your counterclaim is dismissed, and I'm awarding him $5,000. Now, you sit down.
Thank you.
I want you to describe to me, Miss Kaiser.
Yes.
I want you to describe to me, after this whole incident is over, you go home. Your boyfriend tells you take off. The nut is following you, right? She's got your license plate number. How would you receive this first alert from the police?
3 policemen showed up at my door, banged on it, and let me know that if I didn't open the door immediately, that they were going to come in.
What did they say?
They came in and actually started asking me questions about my car. I didn't really know what they were getting at, and they considered me to be evasive, and started telling me that if I didn't tell them what they wanted to know, they were going to arrest me on the spot. And since it was a Sunday, I wouldn't be able to contact a lawyer, I wouldn't be able to be bailed out or arraigned, and I would have to spend the night in jail.
What did they want to know? They want to know his name.
They wanted to know who was driving my car. They basically were backing into asking me his name, and I honestly didn't know what they wanted at the beginning. When they did, I told them, actually fairly early in the conversation, but once it started getting this detailed, that I would much prefer to speak to them after I spoke to an attorney. And once again, we were back to, you're going into prison now, put your hands out, we've got cuffs.
So how long did they stay in your house?
About 2.5 hours. They kept me in my house. After the hour of questioning, I had to wait an hour and a half until she came down, looked at my car, identified it, and left.
So the next day was over?
Actually, it was over in terms of my experiences with the police, and that was frightening, but it was not over in that both the police that we talked to and the Santa Monica City Attorney's Office were still considering pressing charges against me.
As being a co-conspirator in a strong-armed robbery?
The driver of the getaway car in a strong-arm robbery.
You see how ridiculous things got?
I never accused her of anything, Your Honor.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the case of Kaiser v. Bonnet in the amount of $2,500.
Fair enough.
Step up. Yes. A couple of things to say. Could you have behaved better that day?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Certainly did nothing criminal that day. I find that based upon what little I've heard and from looking at these photographs and listening to the story, you did nothing criminal that day. Certainly nothing that would have required you to spend $12,500 for a lawyer. I find, however, that despite the fact that he could have behaved differently that day, I'm merely taking down your license plate, you were the precipitating factor in all of this trouble because, stressed out as you may be, you didn't have the right of way, you brushed him with your car, he doesn't look like a nut to me that he would follow you if you hadn't even tapped him with your car. See, all he was looking for was an apology, but you kept going and were rude besides. You precipitated it, you pay, that's all.
Parties are excused. Case number 184 on the calendar in the matter of Roy versus Zamias. Party, you're welcome. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have seats, please.
Miss Roy, according to your complaint, you rented a room in defendant's home.
Yes.
When did you rent the room?
From January until May.
And what was your monthly rent?
$500.
According to your complaint, there came a time sometime in Was it May that you had an argument?
Early June.
So you stayed there till June?
Yeah, well, yeah, I was to
You
stay.
stayed there till June?
Mm-hmm.
You had an argument over Tupperware.
Yes.
As a result of that argument, you say you were assaulted, given an eviction notice, forced to move. You want the defendant to pay you for the assault, pro rata for the rent, because you'd already paid June's rent, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Your moving expenses, told you wanted to pay $1,543. So let's take it from. When in June did you have this argument?
June 6th.
Tell me about the argument.
Well, the morning of June 6th, I woke up, and I had been looking for my Tupperware throughout that week. And
What Tupperware?
This Tupperware right here.
Those two pieces?
Yes. So throughout the week and in the morning before work and everything, that's when I had time to ask her. So on June 6th, I knocked on her door, and she said, you know, come on in. And I said, hey, Nicole, you know, have you seen my Tupperware? And she said, no, you know, and went on into, you know, Karina, I need to stop condensing your food down into smaller containers in the refrigerator. And this was the third time that I had asked her for my Tupperware, and she was changing the subject when 2 other times I wasn't getting direct answers, and where she was directing me, they weren't there. Like the first time I asked her.
I'm not interested.
Okay.
Just get to the
So
point.
I said, look, if I don't get my Tupperware back, I'll just take it off my rent. And she said, well, don't you dare. And she threw her blankets off her, which every morning.
Just a second, are you telling me you went into her bedroom?
Yes.
To ask? Let me finish my question. You went into her bedroom to ask for those 2 pieces of Tupperware?
Yes, for the
And
third.
she was in bed?
Yes.
Go ahead. So she threw her blankets off.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
But, you know, every other morning.
Just answer the question. Tell me, she threw her blankets off and said what?
Don't you dare, you know, and she threw her blankets off, and she ran to the door and slammed it open. She said, I ate it! And she stormed into the kitchen. And I followed her, and she opened her Tupperware cupboard and forced all of her Tupperware on me like that.
Let me explain something to you. Don't get dramatic with me. Okay, go ahead. So she...
And threw all of her Tupperware on me.
She didn't throw all of her Tupperware on you.
Yes, she did. Yes,
How did
she did.
Miss Roy, you're standing there, so what you're telling me, she took out each piece of Tupperware from the cupboard and threw it at you?
No, she has a Tupperware cupboard, and she put her arm on one end of that Tupperware cupboard, and with all of her force, threw it on me, and I was standing behind her, and it landed on me.
Is that the assault you're talking about?
No, and there was one other.
No. Is that the assault that you're talking about?
That's one of them, yes.
And when was the other one?
Then she kept standing there and screaming, you know, how dare you, and don't you dare, don't you even dare, Karina, shame on you, shame on you.
Listen to me.
Like this.
I hear you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, this is what she was yelling at me.
Go ahead.
And I said, you know, Nicole, you said you were going to take care of my Tupperware, and and on Sunday your maid came, and I haven't seen him since. And she said, there's your answer, Karina. Look in that cupboard there. Look in that one. And I go over there, and I open it up, and it's kind of on the ground, so I kneel down, and there's my Tupperware, and I grab it. And when I'm down, she's leaning her whole body into me, pointing her finger in my face. How dare you? Don't you even dare. Shame on you. That's it. I want you out of here. And she hit my head with her finger. She had all of her weight on me.
Next. So what happened next?
So then I got up, and I'm just like backing away. I'm like backing away. I'm walking out of the kitchen, you know, and she threw her hand up. Damn you, how can you do this? And that's it, Karina, I want you out of here in 30 days. And I'm standing there, and we're standing in front of Anna now, okay? And I said, good. And Anna stood up and said, hey, and looking directly at me, and said, hey, the babies, as she's looking at me. And I had not said anything through this whole entire time.
What did she say?
The babies. The babies.
Hey! Quiet. What happened next?
Well,
you went to work.
As Anna was saying.
You went to work?
Yeah, I went to work.
And what happened when you came home from work?
There was a letter in my room.
And what did the letter say?
It said, because of your histrionics and verbal assault this morning, Anna and I agreed that for the sake of the daycare children, you are to leave the premises as soon as possible. I am hereby giving you a 14-day notice.
Okay. You don't deny writing that note? No. Good. Okay. Where did you come to a 14-day notice?
In my contract, Your Honor, I have it's a month-to-month lease.
Yeah, so there's usually a 30-day notice.
Right. And because of the daycare, should there be any behavioral or safety issue, I exercise the right to use the 14-day. And also the tenant.
Is there a notice in your agreement giving you the right for a 14-day notice?
Yes.
Let me see it.
Yes, it's right here. And,
can I see it, please?
Yes.
Good.
There's also a 48-hour, but that's for something more serious, like underage drinking.
Let me just see.
In my home.
Okay. With at least 14 days' notice given and acknowledged in writing by both parties. Okay, so you gave her a 14-day notice.
My assistant and I decided. Okay.
So that's on the 6th?
Mm-hmm.
When did you move out?
Moved out on the 9th.
30 days, half September, April, June, and November. So what we're talking about is 21 days. Is that right?
No, so I had paid June's rent on May 21st to stay till June 21st.
Oh, okay. So that means that you're only entitled to 12 days.
Yes.
You have a problem with giving her her prorated rent?
I do, Your Honor, because I gave her the 14-day notice.
She moved out before.
And she had announced to me that she would be moving out the following Saturday, which was in a couple of days. And my exact words were, Karina, you're free to move whenever you want, but the room is yours until the 21st.
That's just because you say so.
And
listen to me. Just because you say so doesn't mean that that's so. You gave her a 14-day notice.
Right.
Because you say there was some egregious reason why you gave her short notice. If
Yeah.
she decides not to stay there until that time, that's her prerogative. You have to give her her prorated rent back.
But, Your Honor, the problem is, although she physically moved out, her property was still in the room.
All of her?
Absolutely. No, not all of her property.
What?
The day after she moved, she said she
What
needed
was in-
to bring her answering machine in because her phone...
What was in her
Well,
room?
there was a lamp, a pole lamp, and then her ashtray, and she said Saturday night when she moved out, I'm really tired, my ashtray is in there, I didn't even wash it, I'll get back to it later. And I did not even go into the room to clean or anything. When I did go after the 20th, when she got her security deposit back, then I went in there, and these two items were in the closet still.
Is that the other
And
items?
the lamp, she had said when she was moving, she said, you can either give this away or throw it away.
Then you should have done that.
Karina Roy says former landlord Nicole Zimius assaulted her with Tupperware.
Okay. What items do you think suggest that she still occupied the room? The teddy bear and the cup?
Well,
listen to me. Speak.
The lamp.
The lamp she told you to get
and
rid
the
of.
ashtray, and these two things, with the kind of ups and downs that we've had in her stay, I was not about to even go into the room, and I didn't.
That's fine. That's your prerogative. You did, you didn't. I don't care whether you did or whether you didn't. Clearly, you gave her a notice because you didn't want her around. You felt as if you wanted to give her 2 weeks to get out. That's fine. I find that she elected to move out before. I believe she's entitled to do that. She doesn't want to be there if you don't want her there. She moved out. She gets her portion of the rent back that she paid, because I don't consider that, a cup and her teddy bear, leaving property in the house so that you couldn't rent the room again if you wanted to. All right. Now, next, you want her to pay your moving expenses. Is that right?
Yes.
Wrong. So we've just dealt with that. You don't get your moving expenses. Now, damages due to the assault. I'm prepared to hear you if you want to tell me what your damages were as a result of the assault.
Because of this, I mean, the way I physically felt, okay, was just like somebody just ripped I just felt hollow in here. I mean, I did not feel stable at all. My driver
You're not
has
stable. Anybody that walks into a bedroom, somebody's sleeping in their bed, to ask for 2 pieces of Tupperware and start an argument with them while they're in bed over 2 pieces of Tupperware isn't too stable.
Okay.
To start with.
Well, because
$500 divided by 30 equals $16.66. Clear that?
Yeah, just multiply.
What?
Just multiply.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. Wait a second. I'm learning how to use this machine.
Okay, I'm trying to tell you.
Just a minute. Times 12 equals $199.92. That you are entitled to. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $199.92. Thank you. You want to give her back a bear?
Certainly.
Perfect. Bird, would you take care of the bear and the cup?
Sure. Parties are excused. You may step out.
She fought with all the tenants. She fought with me. She fought with my 2 sons who don't even live there anymore.
Absolutely not. I'm such a meek, shy person. I bowed down to them and I stayed out of their way.
And now the next case.
All parties on Habib versus Fields. Step forward, please.
27-year-old tutor Nafisa Habib is suing her ex-boyfriend's friend, 28-year-old bakery worker Anise Fields, for smashing her windshield with a baseball bat.
Ms. Habib, both you and the defendant have a child.
Yes.
And that child was fathered by the same person.
Yes.
So that's how you know each other.
Yes, ma'am.
And I would assume that you don't like each other.
I have no problem with that.
Well, then you think she doesn't like you.
I guess, yes.
Because it's your claim that she smashed the windshield of your car.
Yes, ma'am.
When did this take place?
On January 12, 2001.
Where?
His uncle's house where he was staying there at the time.
This is the father?
Yes.
Of both children?
Yes, ma'am.
You have any other children?
Yes, I do.
How many?
4.
4 other ones?
4 children altogether.
Altogether. How old is your child?
My child is 3.
And yours?
He's 3. My child's 1 month older than her son.
Tell me how it happened that you happened to be in the same location.
January 12th, he called me and asked me to bring over my daughter. He doesn't see her a lot, so I brought her over.
To where he was staying?
Yes. While we were there, I was downstairs in like the lounge area in the basement, and he was upstairs. And I heard some banging on the door. I thought he had locked himself outside the house. So I called upstairs, Rude Boy, did you lock yourself outside?
What's his name?
Rude Boy. By that time, he came downstairs. He said, Anise is outside.
Anise,
yes.
that's you.
Me. I said, are you going to let her in? He said, no, she's upset. She's going to want to fight. I said, fight who? That's when she busted the basement window. She had a bat in her hand, and I saw her. Rude Boy ran upstairs. I stayed downstairs. They were outside. I heard her yelling, what do you think, I'm stupid? Is she in there? Is she in there? I heard him yelling. He said, I'm going to call the police. He came in the house. Apparently, she left. He came downstairs. He didn't call the police. We started cleaning up the glass. At that time, I said, Rude Boy, let me drop you off at work. When I went to my car, I opened my door, I saw the glass on my seat and saw she busted my windshield. I switched cars with my father, and I went to her house. She invited me in. We talked for a while. The end result of the conversation was that Anise said she was going to pay for my windshield when she got her school money because she didn't have any money at the time. The very next day, after Anise busted my windshield, she called me, and she apologized continuously. Nafisa, I'm sorry. This is not me. I don't go around busting girls' windshields. I felt sorry for Anise because I know how it is for a brother to allow you to believe that it's all about you, and it's not all about you. So I felt sorry for her. I said, no problem, Anise, when you get the money.
So, bottom line is, you saw her with a bat break the basement window.
Yes.
But not your car window.
No.
But she did, in fact, tell you that she would pay for it. Okay, let me hear you.
She's lying. Basically.
Why don't you just tell me what happened? You went over
I wasn't there. No, I was not there. No.
Just a second. Are you telling me that you never went to the house?
Yes, that's what I'm telling you.
I think you have to come up with a better story than that. I'm going to tell you why. Because I believe her when she says that you came to the house.
Mm-hmm.
I believe her when she says that she saw you with a bat in your hand and that there was glass downstairs at the basement window. So I think we're going to start over again.
She's lying. He lives there, so he was there, so he can tell you. I was not there.
All right.
She's lying. I don't know. My basement window never got broke. I don't know how you can see somebody break the basement window from the basement. I don't know what she's talking about. Prior to this, she said I broke her window, busted her car up. She told my grandmother I did it. She let a friend of mine use her car. He crashed her car up. She said I did it. I don't know nothing about what this is about.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, Miss Judy, Judge Judy. I'm trying to be calm because I want to cry because I cannot believe that Jamar would sit up here and lie. He was supposed to watch Hanifa, but he said he couldn't watch her. I didn't even know he was going to be here. Rude Boy, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Shh. Don't talk to him.
I'm sorry.
Can I see the police report, please?
Yes, ma'am. Miss Judge Judy, he also told me, Rude Boy himself told me that Anise had intention several times to pay you for your car windshield, but things that came up. When I went to her house, I met her mother, I met her daughter, Asia.
You brought your daughter
I
to
met
my
her
house.
son.
No. Okay, just a minute. Wait.
Oh, God.
I can't believe you, Rude Boy.
I can't believe you.
Oh, it's over.
Never was anything.
Whatever, Rude Boy. Whatever.
If you talk amongst yourselves, you're leaving.
Excuse me.
Tell me why you reported this to the police 2 days later.
Well, I believed Anise. When she said she was going to pay me for the windshield, and when she called me the very next day after it happened, I believed her. I believed her. My father said, Nafisa, cover your tracks. If you get a police report, then at least you have that in case you have to take her to court. I did not believe it was going to have to go this far. It's only $183. I'm not asking her for cab money or the inconvenience she put me. My sister had to come and get me several times to pick up my children. I work 2 jobs. I raised 4 children by myself. I don't have time for this. This is so juvenile.
Mr. Jones, do you currently have a relationship with any of the 3 or 4 women?
This one here.
This
No,
one.
he doesn't.
Shh,
I'm sorry.
No.
I apologize.
No.
I'm sorry.
So you currently have a relationship with Anise.
Yes.
How long have you had that relationship with Anise?
Since last year, we started dating each other and being in a relationship last summer.
How many children do you two have together?
1.
Your other 2 children, do they have the same mother?
No.
What do you do for a living?
My teacher aide, bus aide.
Nothing. Shh. I'm sorry. I apologize. He's lying. I'm sorry.
Well, how was she taking me to work if she came over?
Just listen to me.
She's making up stuff.
Listen to me.
I'm sorry. I understand. I apologize.
Teachers' aide, bus aides don't make a lot of money.
Small money.
Small money doesn't make 4 children.
No, I make 4 children, but my money take care of my children.
Impossible. Impossible. Okay. Do you work, Anise?
Yes.
What kind of work do you do?
I work at a bakery.
How many children do you have?
5.
Do all 5 children live with you?
Yes.
You make a lot of money in the bakery?
No, I don't. I also go to school.
How is your family subsidized?
From me working and going to school.
How much money do you make at the bakery?
I make $5.50 an hour.
$5.50 an hour gross does not support 6 people. and he certainly doesn't make enough to support you and your children. What kind of work do you do?
I tutor children full-time, and I work at a floral shop part-time.
How many children do you have?
4.
What other support do you get for your children?
I receive food stamps, and that helps a great deal.
How old are your other children, Mr. Jones?
10, 2.
So you have a new child, not with either one of these two women.
Yes.
And shortly after that child was born, you renewed your relationship with a niece. Is that right?
Yes.
Excuse me, miss.
Shh. $183 is what the windshield cost you?
Yes, ma'am.
Pay it. $183. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judy. The plaintiff, Andy Heath, claims she was sexually assaulted by the defendant, S. Lyle Marple, while riding with him on his jet ski.
Before we took off, he put his hands on my thighs, and I thought that maybe that's just the way he wanted to hold on. But he pulled his hands up higher into my bathing suit, and he burst himself inside me.
The defendant denies the plaintiff's allegations.
She had nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Like what?
Money, because she was going to sue. More drugs, because she could go to the doctor. So she had the sympathy of everybody feeling sorry for her about this thing that happened, which didn't happen.
And his witness thinks he has the proof.
We have a videotape showing that she had a wonderful time through the whole party.
Now, the conclusion.
I want to see the video. You have it?
Yes, we do.
Let me see it.
I can explain scenes that I see.
Are there scenes of the plaintiff?
Yes.
After this incident?
Yes.
All right, let me see after the ride.
You're doing great.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. Come on, pose a little bit.
This is good music, Ron.
Oh, you like that, huh? Yeah. Little third world. It's the most beer I've ever seen Stanley drink. How you doing, Stan? You having a good
Is this
time?
before or after the ride?
This is after the ride. As you can see Stanley, where he had his vest on, his T-shirt's still wet. It's dry where the vest covers his shirt. But this is after the
Now,
ride.
is that, just a second, is that Stanley dancing around?
That's Stanley dancing around.
All right, that's Stanley dancing.
And that was the defendant.
Was that her dancing?
She's floating in and out.
Do the dancing, baby. Come on, do the dancing, baby.
I'm talking to my husband, Your Honor.
Do the dancing, baby.
Come on, Pam, do it.
If you notice what's going in the background, Your Honor, this gentleman's wife was attempting.
You didn't do it. Hey, Pam! You know? Pam almost pulled Stan's pants down, but she chickened out at the last minute.
Do the gorilla. You do the
Okay. Mr. Heath, it did appear that your wife was not, at least overtly, traumatized. This was after the incident.
Yes,
I believe she was in shock, Your Honor.
You're not an expert.
That's true.
You are not a psychiatric expert.
That's true, Your Honor. I've been with my wife for 12 years, so I know her very well, and I know the difference of how she was feeling before and after the ride.
Well, you couldn't tell that she was feeling badly afterwards.
I could tell that the people that we normally hang out with, she totally avoided.
You couldn't tell from looking at that your wife had just suffered a traumatic event.
That's true.
Is that a fair statement?
Yes, it is.
I didn't want him to know, Your Honor.
It may be, but you have the possibility of just withdrawing at the party and sitting down, sitting, having a drink, not saying anything, but you were participating at the party
I was
at this.
flying all over the place.
You were
Your
flying
Honor.
all over the place. Had you had anything to drink before you went on the Sea-Doo?
Yes, Your Honor.
What did you have to drink?
Snow Creek wine.
What is that?
It's like a Boone's Farm. And I was in the pool so much, I just come back and put ice in it.
Okay, so how many drinks did you have?
One. And also this gentleman's wife and I went to the store to buy a bottle of Malibu rum. And I had a little bit of Malibu rum in with that, but then again, I just kept putting ice in it. I'm not a drinker, Your Honor.
Okay, what about you, sir? How much did you have to drink?
I had like a beer or two, and then later on I had a few more beers.
Did you drink anything other than beer?
No.
Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, at the end of the party, it was strange because I've really had an enjoyable time with these people. And at the end, after it was that diffusing, she gave me a kiss, my wife a kiss, Stanley a kiss. My wife she spent 80% of the time with this lady in the pool, and it's on the tape. You see them that they're together all the time. My wife has things to say.
I'd like to.
It also says in here that she needed to be on medication for the rest of her life. And
sit down.
All right, but Pam.
Yes.
I did spend most of the time at the party with Andy, and we did have a really good time. We drank quite a bit. The bottle of Malibu rum that she did bring, I had one glass, and I know that it was empty at the end of the party.
That's
and I'll admit that we were both drunk at the party. When she left, she was very drunk. Her whole demeanor throughout the party with her She didn't act like anybody that had anything happen to him. I am an RN, I work in an emergency room, and I do take care of women who are sexually assaulted or raped.
Did you see any marks or bruises on the plaintiff?
No, I never saw any marks or bruises, and also on the video, I never noted any marks or bruises on her.
Anything else you want to tell me?
Yes, one other thing. Stanley did obtain her medical records, and it does show that she has been on psychiatric drugs and sedatives for years before this incident. Also has a history of psychiatric problems. It's right there on the paperwork.
What do you take Paxil for?
I was taking Paxil because my mother had 29 surgeries in less than a year.
Well, Paxil is a psychiatric drug. You know that.
Yes,
Shh,
sir.
pay attention.
Yes, ma'am.
When did you start to take Paxil?
About 3 years ago.
So that your answer to me that you were not taking any medication, shh, listen to me. Your husband's answer.
Yes, ma'am.
So you telling me that your husband didn't know that you were taking Paxil?
Yes, you did, ma'am.
I don't even know what Paxil is for.
Lorazepam, what do you take that for?
For sleeping. Not any longer.
But you did then?
Yes, ma'am.
When was your last prescription?
Approximately a year ago.
This happened on the 19th of August, 2000?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you go to the doctor on the 2nd of August?
I don't recall, Your Honor.
Did you complain to the doctor at that point that you had a rash on your back, some on your legs, and also in the vaginal area?
No, not in the vaginal area. I don't remember that. I do remember
That's what the doctor reports.
Okay, well then
Miss
that is
Heath.
possible, Your Honor.
That was on the 2nd. He increased your Paxil to 40 milligrams, is that right?
I believe so, yes, Your Honor.
You also called July 27th, indicating that you were going out of town to take care of your brother and you'll run out of your Paxil. And when they called to check at the pharmacy, they indicate that you had 4 refills for Walgreens.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you had enough.
Yes, Your Honor.
You were also taking sleeping pills before.
Yes, Your Honor.
At some point, did the doctor tell you that they wanted to wean you off these sleeping pills?
I wanted to wean it off.
Doctor reported sometime prior to this that you wanted some additional medication, and the doctor explained that that would be a fraud. Explained to patient that she'll need to be seen before we can refill the lorazepam. Patient states she'll see what she can do to get in.
Yes, Your Honor.
Doctor reports that you started to take some medication due to an attempted suicide in September of 1999, owing to stress. Did you attempt suicide in 1999?
No, Your Honor. That was
Right.
September of 2000, Your Honor.
September of 1999.
No, Your Honor.
Is what this report indicates. You take a lot of Paxil and a lot of the other medication, according to this report.
Not anymore, Your Honor.
Wow.
I'm on different medication.
What kind of medication are you on?
I'm on trazodone and Effexor. Trazodone is for sleep, Effexor is for antidepressants.
But that wasn't as a result of
And
this
Xanax.
incident.
Yes, Your Honor.
Andy Heath says former friend S. Lyle Marble sexually assaulted her at a party. S. Lyle says Andy is lying.
There's a lot of information here. Is there anything else that you want me to read?
My answer to her complaint.
Well, that's self-serving, sir. Your answer is self-serving.
Your Honor, may I make a
Yes.
statement? Her and I did become very good friends. We have a friend in common. She made the interest in the fact that she enjoyed drinking Malibu rum, as did I. The Malibu rum was not empty, Your Honor. I still have it in my refrigerator.
Whether
as
it
of
was
this
or whether it was not, madam, are you given specific instructions when you take Paxil with regard to any alcohol?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you allowed to have any alcohol if you are taking medication?
No, and I drink wine.
You are not supposed to have any alcohol if you are taking Paxil. Is that right?
Yes.
And you were, in fact, taking Paxil, as well as other medication, on this day.
But that is not instructed on the Paxil bottle.
Miss Heath.
It is on Effexor.
Miss Heath, one of the problems is that when I asked that specific question before, whether there was ever any indication that you had a problem before this, your husband said never a problem, you don't take any medication, there was never any psychotropic medication, nothing. And so that would lend certain credibility to your statements that as a result of this incident, you became so traumatized that you now have stress, can't sleep, you're on medication, you know, all that goes together. But all that happened before. Your husband was not honest with me when he...
Your Honor, I
Mr.
didn't know.
Heath.
I'm not trying to be misleading.
Well, you were misleading to me. Your wife has been on heavy-duty medication for a long time. You know, this is a very, very difficult matter for anybody to handle in a relatively short period of time. There is no medical evidence of sexual assault. So I have to listen to the 2 testimonies. And I have to find to my satisfaction, by a preponderance of the evidence, that this did in fact occur. My initial reaction from hearing your story was that maybe everybody's a little drunk and he got a little out of hand, pay careful attention to me. Don't interrupt me. That's why you ask questions, because before you find somebody, in effect, guilty of this kind of horrific experience, you have to be really satisfied. And as a judge and as a woman, I find that this kind of experience can be, and to most women would be, very traumatic. The response to that trauma would be to say to your husband, get your bathing suit, we're leaving. And then I see a tape, Ms. Heath, of you apparently partying afterwards. I would have to have some pretty substantial psychiatric testimony from a treating therapist that would indicate to me that due to this kind of stress, you may have been suffering a post-traumatic stress even during this period of time, which so altered your mood that would permit a video to be taken of you seemingly laughing and having a good time, encouraging your husband to dance. But I don't have that. Listen to me. I don't have that expert testimony.
Yes, ma'am, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
As you're not paying attention.
I'm sorry.
I don't have what your therapist says happens here because I cannot examine your therapist.
Yes, ma'am.
I do not take this as fact.
Yes,
what I take as fact are your medical records that indicate that you were prescribed over a long period of time serious medication. You complained for a long period of time that as a result of stress you couldn't sleep. You asked the doctor on more than one occasion to provide more medication than the doctor would provide because he says you already have enough. You got that prescription filled 2 days ago. I'm not going to refill it again. That's objective data from the medical records. The statement from your therapist, Ms. Heath, is self-serving, and without that therapist here, I have a difficult time making a judgment, quite frankly, viewing the tape, looking at these medical records, listening to your husband, plus the fact that you decided, whether on advice of your therapist or not to take a polygraph test, despite the fact that he took one. And his polygraph test did not vindicate him, according to the detective's report, because I don't have the polygraph here either. It didn't say you did it. It didn't say you didn't do it. It said some of your answers were deceptive. But it didn't even say that you had declined to take a polygraph test.
She didn't decline. She offered to.
She didn't take it.
Right.
Because if she had taken it, they would have said she took it.
I have something very important to address to you.
Go ahead.
This tape that they have shown was before the ride, Your Honor, not after the ride.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
After the ride, I went over to make sure that I could hold myself together. And I gave him 5. I said, give me 5 to make sure I could hold myself together. And then he was nowhere around me until I was ready to leave, and he was sitting in my seat.
It was after the ride. In fact, if you look at the whole tape, there are parts in there where you can tell. At one point, he asked what time it was. It was like 6:30. You can kind of tell throughout the tape, you know, where he went and got his jet ski and took it back, and especially with him being wet. He only went out in the water. He never went in the pool once. He was only in the water twice. When she got back, we jumped in the water a couple times after that. She was having so much fun. We ran on the dock.
He walked right through the break next to where
We jumped off the dock and swam to the shore. We were having a great time.
Before the ride?
No, that was after the ride. And if she was assaulted, why would she let a little 13-year-old girl go on the boat right after him?
Don't ask them a question.
May I answer that?
No.
Your Honor?
Listen to me. Accusing someone of what I consider a vicious attack is serious business.
Yes, it is.
And I have to be totally satisfied
yes,
that this incident occurred as you indicate.
Yes,
because we're not talking about the money judgment that you're requesting so much,
No, ma'am.
but we're talking about making a statement publicly that this man violated you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In order for me to do that, I have to feel totally comfortable, Miss Heath. So what is the objective evidence that I have? The objective evidence is that you were taking very serious medication for a substantial period of time before this happened, medication that should not be taken in conjunction with alcohol. You decided, for whatever reason, not to get your husband, which would have been a totally reasonable response, immediately afterwards and say, let's get out of here. We're getting out of here. I'm just talking to you about objective data. You understand? The objective data is I have a report here that indicates that you started to take medication, and you've been taking medication for stress for a very long time, and in your own hand or in the hand of another professional, it does say that you did, in fact, attempt suicide, something that you didn't tell me. I have the defendant, who probably, based upon his own statements and based upon the statements of his witness, wasn't too bright, because if he takes women on his sea-doo, what he does is he either holds on to the back of the jacket, puts his hand around his waist, and not be stupid and grab them onto their waist where you might put your hands in and around their thigh area. That isn't smart. Do you understand? Not smart. That does not necessarily make you a sexual deviant. Okay. He says he did not do this. Your mother says she observed certain bruising on your thighs. The medical records indicate that the doctor who you saw during the month of August noted redness.
But not scratches.
There is no medical evidence of scratches, madam. If you went to the doctor immediately after this incident, which you did not do, and the doctor had looked at you and saw nail scratches, nail marks, something.
Ma'am, when I went to the doctor, he's known me so long, being so strong with my mom, that he didn't even look, he didn't even check. He just walked out of the room.
That may be, but this is the objective data that I do not have, which is probably why the police department there chose not to prosecute him.
Ma'am.
There was a prosecutor that wanted to.
The state.
He kept having it postponed, and they put somebody else in there who dropped the case.
It's been postponed and withdrawn for 7 months.
What I'm telling you is, when you have this kind of an assault, especially if you have this kind of an assault, and there was some indication that there was another child, a 13-year-old, who's not a witness here today, so I don't know that, was also inappropriately touched, then the prosecutors proceed. You may be 100% truthful. I, as a judge, have to deal with objective data. And based upon what I have seen, I cannot in good conscience label this man a sexual deviant.